Hey, True Believers, Chris Mack coming at you with Strongbox, the Big Bag Book of Boon, issue 4. And after the acid trip that was issue 3, this one just goes further down this insane rabbit hole, and it is quite entertaining. So we open up, and the beans that we saw come forth from the ground, we are introduced here. Now, before we talk about this guy, let's talk about who made this book. This is writer and created by H. Thomas Altman, rendered to perceptual deterrence. I haven't had enough coffee. Sebastian Solid, J.M. Raguat, and Milan Giblist. So we're introduced to this character named Jinko, not to be confused with the jeans at Jinko. Jinko, Jingo-Ko. And at first you're not really understanding who this cat is because you see him holding up this list of guns, and he goes, "Here I am, standing here, telling you, funky ass, to adhere to commands I give you. Don't be shocked, Mr. Blue." You're thinking, what the hell is going on here? And just kind of the way he talks, because he's at a police station, and he's like, "This is called a police station, sir. Would you like to get arrested?" And he goes, "I have the list of that, which to you might seem real fat. Effortlessly, you will pass every single gun that I ask. Lock 'em, load 'em, ready to go. Doing your job, 'cause you're too slow." And here, Jinko was commonly known as a wise convincer. His device was prevailing hypnosis. Now again, I would call this, I'm sure other creators back in the day use this, but I always call them Claremont-esque tools, because here we're introduced to our character, kind of get an idea of what his power set is, kind of like how when Claremont would always write, he would talk about how, let's say Wolverine, he'd say Logan would jump, his razor sharp claws that are retracted in the back of his hands would come popping forth, and you just get a quick idea of who they are instead of modern comics. So anyway, I'm glad that they give you that, because you get this idea of why this character is talking so funky, because you're just like, why is he seeming to like rap or scat or something like that? But here, now we get it. And we're also introduced to Eli Paris. And Eli, to me, is very remnant of Keanu Reeves' Neo, and I'll explain why here in a minute. But his power set here says, here at the morgue we find Eli Paris, the inquisitional leader of the savants on this mission, a virtuoso of the double negative theorem and law of the union and common id, intersecting laws of identity. He's able to do the cracking of dimensional shifts of a planet's lithospheric plates deep below its mantle. Eli's prismatic pocket sense will register its every course of action. So here we see him in the morgue, and he's trying to scan where the bandwidth went after its initial removal from our first victim back in issue 1. And so he's able to essentially kind of touch something and scan where it goes. So it's kind of a neat power. So in a sense, Altman here has kind of created his own X-Men. O'Malley here, she has a wide array telepathy. So the way she looks, she very much reminds me of Jean Grey. So that's kind of cool. And it kind of talks how she's able to, like say, make physical contact with people, like kissing, and she's able to share memories with them. And this is where we're introduced to the man in black, essentially, who we've been chasing the last 3 issues. We find out that his name is Dixon the Dread. And so we see that they've come to our world, and we're kind of getting a taste of things to come. But what this issue does is shows Frank, who's kind of getting the short end of the stick after his little acid trip, finally coming face to face with the savants. And he is none too happy with them. He's all right, spookies, let's hear it before you all get sweet with my 44. And at this point, I can't promise he's gonna see you as a war party. And here they introduce that the man you've been chasing, his name is Dixon. The strongbox that you came through is basically a dimensional conduit between the two worlds that's being guarded by Pelwood, the kind of librarian mystic that we've been talking about, the lady in all white. And they're telling Frank that they need his help. And he's like, I'm not going to help you till you give me answers. And what I like is even after O'Malley kisses him and gives him the memories of Dixon, he goes, what'd you do to me? I have it all. It's pouring into my brain. I see Dixon. I see it all. The answer is that crank Pelwood promised. And in doing that, he sees what he needs to do. But what I like is how they're saying, we need you to work with us. He goes, I don't care what planet, galaxy, or existential toilet bowl you're from. In Chugwater, we got laws. I aim to uphold them. I, as in me alone, do my best work that way. Selfish, isn't it? And what happens is you find another level of Frank here, because it goes into talking about how he, he retired as a master sergeant. He goes, I led men to their deaths, good men with families. They deserved better. I made an oath to myself to never again be in that spot. But here's the thing, what I like is Frank, that's why he always works alone, because he doesn't want to be responsible for anybody else's having blood on his hand like he was when he was in the war. But he's saying, here I don't really have a choice, so here's what's going to happen. It's going to be my shots, the way I call it, as I see fit. Do you understand? And I like that Eli, he's kind of the more calm one of the bunch. And he goes, indeed, Master Sergeant Boon. Your wish is our command. And after that, you're kind of like, okay, let's see what happens. And here, this is where I was talking about Paris reminded me of Neo, because they're getting ready to go into the real world. And Paris is just like, he's near. And then everyone's wearing all black leathers and the glasses, and it just kind of reminds me definitely of The Matrix, and just kind of the way that they start just breaking out the big guns. And we get one psychotic moment to the tune of Take Me Out to the Ball Game. I don't want to ruin that part for you guys. It was something interesting. But with all that, they're in the woods of our world. And we are introduced to this really nice looking katana called the Slayer Foil. What's the Slayer Foil? What does it mean? What does all this mean in the grand scheme of things? Well, folks, I highly recommend that you pick up Strongbox, The Big Bad Book of Boon, issue 4. Because as I said, with the first 3 issues, you think when you start out with this that it's just going to be a straight detective noir story. But then out of the blue, while you're getting all this great detective work, it just goes full tilt sci-fi, baby. And it's definitely up both of my alleys. So if those are kind of, your wheelhouse, then you are definitely going to enjoy this series. So if you've enjoyed what you've seen in issue 4, please first and foremost support your local comic shop and see if they can get it ordered for you or if they already have it on the rack. If not, I will make sure to leave the links down in the description where you can purchase this series, and I highly recommend it. If you've enjoyed this review, we really would appreciate if you take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Helps the club channel more than you could possibly know. And if you won't mind hitting that fancy little Strongbox bell next to subscribe, that way as we continue to upload content, we'll get notified, come to the channel, and we love talking with you all and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments below, or our social media pages, which I'll make sure to leave the links as well down in the description. So with all that said, thank you so much for stopping by. Hope you all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, true believers.